Oh, you're checking in. Thank you. Bing is going to get mad at me if I tell you to just form. So are there elected officials here? Because we have Councilor Avalos here. I'm really grateful to have her. If there's other electeds here. I think others may come in. I really, if you see one of your elected officials coming in, please welcome them to the front, because I really think this is an important opportunity for all of us to hear from you. These have been extraordinarily challenging and really quite frightening days. So I invited folks on a dime, literally I think, 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, you found out that we were doing this. And it's really important for us to sit in community, not committee, with you all. So I'm going to stop being distracted that people aren't all in here. I'm going to assume that folks are going to find a seat, and if you can't, please sit up front on the floor if you're comfortable doing that. I am Congresswoman Maxine Dexter. I serve this community, and I'm really honored to be here with you today. Thank you all for showing up. I'm going to give Councilor Avalos a few minutes. Obviously, the city of Portland is dealing with a tremendous amount right now, and so please take space with our community.
Thank you. Hey everyone, thank you so much. Welcome to District 1, to East Portland. I wish it were under better circumstances, but I'm so grateful to see this turnout. And just in the last 48 hours, a lot of community members keep showing up to vigils and marches and rallies. And I think that's a really critical part of our response right now. Us as elected leaders, we're here to listen. Obviously, we're going to be pulling every lever that is available to us, but this isn't just about us. We need you all too, and your activation by showing up, by also getting to know your neighbors and helping them with groceries, making sure their kids can get diapers. Those are the kinds of things right now that everyone can do. And so, really grateful for you to come out. Please reach out to my office. I have a staffer coming to make sure to give out any cards, but you can look us up at Councilor.Avalos. Please do reach out and let us know if you have information, if you have ways that you can help, or if you need help. We are available to you. So again, welcome to East Portland.
Thank you. Obviously, the city is under a lot of pressure right now. Portland police, our counselors, they were literally trying to elect a president at the time of the shooting. I just want to really thank you for your service, for everything that you all are leaning into in a really hard time. So let's please give a final thanks to Councilor Avalos. So as you can imagine, since we found out yesterday that we could hold a meeting, I don't have a lot of prepared remarks. I am going to say a few things, but the gratitude needs to keep going. We have Mr. Tyler West, who's our Recreation Director here at East Portland Community Center. Thank you for making space. To the East Portland Community Center, who literally just said yes. And I think that's really a model that all of us are going to need to be doing in the coming weeks and months, is just continuing to say yes when your community needs you. So thank you to East Portland Community Center for making space. And then my team, as always, I like to thank them. None of this happens. You can imagine I didn't do all the organizing to make sure that we can do this. So please, my team, if you can hold up your hands, let's give them a word of thanks or some applause. Thank you. Okay. And then the last thing, I really want to applaud you all. Like, you literally, I don't know how you all found out about this aside from social media. So thank you for paying attention. Thank you for being engaged. And thank you for showing up for your community. All right. So, DC has been anything but business as usual. Unfortunately, the divides continue. And I was shocked, horrified, and frankly enraged when I finally, at around midnight, the day of the murder of Renee Nicole Good, to see the video, to see the response by our government, I couldn't sleep and was trying to figure out what it is that I was going to do, and how was I going to lean in more, questioning if I was doing enough, how I could find more courage. And the next day, a lot of us had hard conversations, and I was in my Congressional Progressive Caucus meeting where one of my colleagues just started the meeting off talking about this, and obviously just the day before, Ilhan Omar, whose constituent is Renee Nicole Good, or was, we'd all been grieving with her and trying to figure out what we could do. And the Congressional Progressive Caucus was pretty clear that we need to make room for civil disobedience, for figuring out how we push back harder. And I'm a freshman. I don't speak up very often. It's really better to listen to the people who have been there for a while. And I just raised my hand and I said, I cannot be complicit with this federal government, these officers who are terrorizing my neighborhood, who are shooting a woman in cold blood. That could have been one of my constituents. And the next day, it was two of my constituents. So folks, this is not normal. Your federal government, our job is to ensure your peace, your security, your safety, your health care, your ability to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in a country that is a country of laws, of stability, of reproducible assuredness, that you can exercise your civil rights, that you can be a legal observer, that you can be an immigrant safely in our borders because you too are protected by due process and the power of the law. And that's not what we have right now. And I spent a lot of time talking to Congresswoman Janelle Brown. Oh my God, please don't tell her I said that. Janelle Bynum. This morning, because I woke up at 2 a.m. I have stress dreams, and I woke up with a nightmare that tanks were rolling into Portland because I was being too loud, because I was speaking out, because I had said that I was going to file articles for impeachment of Kristi Noem. Y'all. Oof. Oof. Portland, you show up, you show up. Wow. You know what Janelle told me is, Maxine, you don't need to have all the answers. Your job is to come back home and have the people of your community tell you what they need. Y'all, you just did it. Like you're telling me. So thank you. Come on in, people. We're sitting crisscross applesauce in front if you're comfortable doing so. Please come on. Come in. Wow, I can't tell you that I needed that. We also are trying to form a coalition of congressional members who are willing to withhold appropriations for the Department of Homeland Security. And we've got work to do. There's so much work to do. And I need you to tell me what work you need me to do. I know what I can see. I know the things. I know people are going to say you need to impeach Donald Trump. We do need to do that. And I'm just going to remind you, this is a safe space for everyone. I represent every person in this district, Republican, Democrat, Independent, unaffiliated, DSA, everyone. So I can't get too political, but we cannot impeach Donald Trump right now. And in fact, what we saw last week is we are seeing cracks in the Republican coalition. I can tell I'm pacing, so I'm going to try to not pace. We had 17 Republicans who found their courage to vote to extend the ACA enhanced premium tax credit. And on the same afternoon, 5 Senate Republicans joined the Senate Democrats to vote for war power resolutions. So right now is the time to build on that momentum, and impeaching Kristi Noem feels like something that you need to do. Frankly, it's faster for her to be fired. She has proven herself to be unserious, untrustworthy, and frankly, a threat to the peace and security of our nation. So I very much hope she will be fired before articles need to be voted upon, but we are going to push that needle, and we need you all to make sure that if that's what you want, that you make sure I know it, okay? The city of Portland is doing a really remarkable job holding the line with the Portland Police Bureau. Chief Day is really showing up with compassion, learning the crowd science, not crowd control, learning how to try to be in community and give peaceful protesters the space they need. We are all going to have criticisms of each other right now, but that man is really trying. And so we need to give him props for that. Undermining trust in our law enforcement. I hope we can distinguish, and luckily they make it really easy because they hide their faces and they don't show any identification and they show up in unmarked vehicles. We know who ICE is and we know who the Portland police are, and these are not the same people, and we need to know that the Portland City Council is very clear about this. Our mayor's been very clear. Multnomah County Sheriff and her department have been very clear that they are not helping in the detainment and the terrorizing of our community. Thank you. So right now is really for us to hear from you, because I said I need you to tell me what you need, and I just am so grateful for how clearly you have told me that I'm on the right path, that I should not be deterred from being courageous. It feels like a lot right now, because we know that Minneapolis is, after the mayor of Minneapolis was very clear. I've gotten in trouble, so I'm not going to say it, but we too have been very clear that we need ICE to cease all active enforcement until there can be a transparent and accountable transparency with a true investigation. There was a time when the FBI was trustworthy, it is not now. And then accountability for what happened before any further ICE enforcement happens. And unfortunately, when Minneapolis's mayor was so clear, they doubled down and sent in 200 to 300 more ICE agents. So I carry this with me, because if I am outspoken, if I make clear what my community is demanding that I show up to do, that we run the risk of having doubling down of fear-mongering, right makes, or might makes right mentality, lawlessness in our communities. And I carry that very deeply, my friends. But if that is what you are supportive of, and it certainly is what my heart tells me is right, we show up, we do it in solidarity, we are peaceful, resistantly peaceful, persistently peaceful, ever peaceful. But we gotta come out of we cannot let them deter us. They cannot put us in our homes where we are fearful. We have to show up for, thank you. So we have to show up for each other right now. Like, where your feet are is where you need to keep your heart. Where your people are hold them tight and make sure that they know basic rights. I've got my perk bracelet on, that your Migra watch trained, that you carry your whistles, that when somebody needs help, you stand forward, you do not sit back. And these things that we all have on us all the time, we've seen the power of them, right? We have innumerable observers who got video of the murder of Renee Nicole Good, and they can't tell us that we can't believe our eyes. But because they are enforcing in more rural and less densely populated parts of our state, it's not as easy to get that footage. So use your phones. Make sure that you have facial recognition turned off if you are at protests. Put your phones on airplane mode if you're at protests. Show up to protests. And when somebody is being threatened, we all gotta be courageous right now, y'all. Step forward. You put your body in the way if you need to. This is not a political rally, but a people united will never be divided. That is something we have to be. So now it's time for you, and actually, oh, Morgan, we've got questions. Morgan's ready for me to do them. Are there any other elected officials here yet? If you are, please come have a seat with us, and if you're not, that's okay. Oh wait, I'm seeing somebody being pointed to, but I can't tell who it is. No, okay. Oh, you're telling people to sit down. Okay.
We don't have another mic, so when they ask a question,
we'll probably have people come up, and then I have about this much space to come to you. Otherwise, you're going to have to come to me to be heard. So I do want folks to come up. Loretta Smith, Counselor Smith. Thank you for being here. Do you want to just say hello to our community?
Yes. Thank you so much. I want to thank everybody for coming to this town hall meeting. We're under challenging times right now, and for you all to show up today in the way that you're showing up, I'm so grateful and thankful that you all showed up today. I love living in this community. I love representing you, and I thank Congresswoman Maxine Dexter for coming here on short notice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Have a seat up here. Okay, so we're going to get started. Our first two tickets are 383-8629. If that's you, please hold up your hand and start coming forward. 8629 are the last four. All right, next is 383-8540. So come on up and tell me which number you are so I give the other person a chance. 8629, thank you. And here's your mic. We want everyone to hear your question.
So in terms of holding accountable ICE, the Supreme Court of this country has ruled that law enforcement officials technically working in official capacity, thank you, have what's called qualified immunity. I know our Vice President called it limited or something. What can Congress do? What can a federal representative do to actually hold these people accountable if our court system isn't going to do anything about it?
Thank you. And actually, before you step away, tell me your name.
I'm Connor.
Thank you, Connor. So this is precisely a question, and I still cannot believe this man knows my name, but Jamie Raskin, who is a force and just an idol. I still feel like I fangirl every time I talk to him. I sat next to him on the floor the day that Renee Nicole Good was shot and said, Bivens action is the ability to sue a federal official if you've been harmed, if the law has been broken, if your rights have been infringed upon. The Supreme Court has shockingly, limited our people's ability to use Bivens action to hold federal officers accountable, but Jamie Raskin is working to expand that and to work. So ask Jamie how I can be helpful and what more we can do. You do have rights, clearly. Those rights need to be upheld. Again, these phones are really helpful for having data, having evidence. We absolutely need to hold our federal officials accountable. The fact that these people are being paid by us, by you, to terrorize you is un-American. Frankly, it's terrifying. This is something that I never thought that we would be living through, and yet Congresswoman Bynum also reminded me that what's happening right now is not new. We've done this with slavery, with the Salem witch trials, the glee that people are so openly terrorizing our communities with, having a cell phone in his hand as he's threatening a woman and shooting her. This is not new. So we will get through this. We need to hold ourselves accountable. And I will continue to say that this country continues to become improved because we grapple with our worst. We are at our best at the times that we actually wrestle with the things that are most damaging about our communities. So again, the power comes from you. So let's keep holding ourselves accountable. I don't know what else we can do. There is some immunity for federal officers, but that is when they are following the law. So we need to hold them accountable to the law. And your civil rights are clearly the law that are preeminent in this land. The other number was 8540. Was there anyone who had that number? Or maybe you forgot you had that number? Maybe you're shy. I'm shy too, I don't know. 8540, did you just, oh good, come on up. I'm gonna give 8527 and 8646 a heads up. If that's you, start heading this way and we'll get you next. Hi, thank you. If there's people with mobility limitations, I will come to you and then I'll repeat your question as best as I can.
Thank you so much.
No, you're good.
In traumatic times, people need a safe
Close to your mouth.
And decent place to live, an affordable place to live. One of the things we see is that people are being priced out of their homes, and that weakens us, right? It's really hard to be active. It's really hard to stand up when you don't have a place to live or you're living in fear. 42% of Oregonians are renters, and 42% of low-income housing is LIHTC, which is these federal tax credit programs. It's a really nice idea, but unfortunately there's no oversight. So it creates endless, expensive slums where people's lives are being harmed and damaged in a corrosive fashion. It's part of why we have the housing crisis and have for 12 years ongoing. So, everybody lots of people being priced out of Thank you so much. Being priced out of housing, while larger landlords, developers, and their investor partners are making more money than ever, because our kind of current leadership structure allows endless billions in public funds to subsidize their due cost of doing business to further increase their profit margin. So we need to end the myth that we're all dependent on these landlords and developers to provide affordable housing and stop bleeding out our public funds to them, so we can get out of a housing crisis, get people back in their home sanctuaries so they can fight the mistakes of the current federal administration. So, some people do believe that landlords and developers, they need this money. They need billions and billions and billions of public money to fund their private business. Is that something that because people believe different things.
Just give me your question.
Do you think that millions, billions of dollars of our public money should go to private, for-profit developers and landlords?
Thank you.
I'm just saying, if not the low-income renters would really appreciate, and even across the country, if you would help work toward ending this LIHTC problem.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm sorry, what was your name? Amber. Thank you, Amber. So we actually have city councilors who have been really working on social housing and how do we restructure at the city level, this is a multi-jurisdictional level or issue. We know that you are paying Multnomah County taxes, we have metro taxes, we have city property taxes that are all helping fund housing. Well, property taxes not so much, but and then federal incentives, and LIHTC is a key one for affordable housing. And the way I would argue that the program itself is not optimized, the dollars are absolutely necessary. And social housing, here I'm going to start with values. Every single person should have access to housing that they can afford in the community in which they want to live. Full stop. And as the housing chair, and if folks want to stand, you're welcome to, but you're also welcome to come up front and sit or sit in the aisle. Actually, probably not the aisles. I'm sure that's a fire regulation issue, but please come up. Every person needs to have access to affordable housing, food and shelter, security. That should be a no-brainer. That is my job, that is government's job, is to make sure that people can have food, shelter, education, transportation. That is what you pay your tax dollars for. It is an agreement that we are in. Clearly, we continue to fail, right? So doing more of the same and expecting a different result, we all know that's the definition of insanity. We have to change the programs. We have to have robust infrastructure investment. We have to make space for community land trusts and for low equity co-ops and different ways for people to live in community together. Right now, my team is working on a multi-generational housing package or bill that will allow for multiple generations in the same household to apply for a mortgage and be given funding so that they can buy housing and have ownership and build generational wealth in a way that so many in the city have been redlined out of. That is just one thing, but we found at the state level we couldn't get past a lot of the capital investment barriers, and so we're working with banks and cooperatives and different things to make sure that we can get to that. So that bill is one that we're working with Senator Tina Smith and others on, and we absolutely are working on that. My team, William, if you'll please raise your hand. William is my housing legislative assistant or field director here in Portland, and is working with my team in DC on this, and we're going to continue that work. So we are really thrilled to get to work with our city council and state and county leaders as well on this work. All right, did you have the next number?
I have one of them.
Well, come on up. Which number is yours?
8646.
Great.
Hello, I'm Catherine Gerhardt. I am representing Eastern Seals, Oregon. We actually met in
Yes, we
DC
did.
a couple months ago.
Yeah.
See you again.
Nice to see you.
We provide housing, employment, and recreation services to people 55 and older, veterans, people with disabilities all across the state of Oregon. If you have any insight on when the budget is going to get released, the Senior Community Service Employment Program is on the chopping block almost every year. I know you helped support us when we were waiting for that funding to get released. So we're just crossing our fingers that we will have funding in July. But I guess my question is, it all seems so big, and there's so many of us, and there's so many opposing views and thoughts and opinions. And my question, I don't know if you have an answer for this, is like, what can we do? And what do you need to do your job as best as you can do it to support us? Because I'm just one person, but together, what can we do?
Thank you. Thank you so much, and really appreciate the question. It's Catherine, right?
Catherine, yes.
Catherine. Okay, so Catherine, I think whatever you are comfortable with, sure. So I'll just answer the first part of your question about the budget. So I was just talking to Senator Merkley yesterday about this. Oh, my team wants me to stand still, sorry. Talking to Senator Merkley about this because the appropriations bills, we have until January 31st, the continuing resolution ends. So we have to get things funded before then for the government to not shut down again. I will argue that the government shutdown led to something. It led to the ACA enhanced premium tax credits actually passing in the House. Now it still isn't law, but it has cleared a major hurdle. And I do believe that the shutdown was helpful. I just want to be really clear that we are trying to keep our government running and still keep moving forward with breaking down the Republican coalition that has been a barrier to the work that we need to do for American people. So the next 3 bills that we are going to be voting on in the House are we're calling them minibuses. So the local and international aid is in that. So Easter Seals and other community-based organizations who receive federal funds, that should be in the next package. Unfortunately, the Department of Homeland Security is also planned to be in that trifecta. And so what I'm advocating for is pulling out DHS so that they don't move forward, and the other one is financial services. And remember, I'm one of 435, but we are building a coalition. And so I'm hoping that we can pull DHS out. But financial services is housing, including LIHTC that we just talked about. We do want to fund those parts of government. We need them more than ever. Easter Seals and other community-based organizations need that money. So we are trying to get that done and not shut it down again. As far as what you all can do, we started off talking about that. Number 1, get a whistle, use your phone, sign up for Meager Watch or with Perk, volunteer, take care of your people, get diapers for the babies in the community who cannot get to the grocery store, their parents, get groceries, drive people to their visits at the clinic, God forbid, at school. Like, do everything you can in your community, vote, and call me. Let me know what you need. Those are absolutely actionable things that we need. And then the next thing is show up. Keep showing up like you did today. I cannot believe that this is a 24-hour notice gathering. So thank you for doing that, but keep doing it. Again, a people united will never be divided. We have to show up and be stronger together. So thank you for that. Excellent. You must have 8527. Wonderful. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Michael. I had more comments than a question because this was billed as
a listening session.
From
yep.
us.
Yep.
So I had comments. Basically, it was almost exactly what you just offered in response to the second question from the prior person who came up here. First of all, I want to commend you for defending democracy, both in Washington and here. Thank you so much. This is my 3rd town hall that I have attended that you have offered. And I truly get the sense that you are listening, you want to hear our concerns, and are taking actions accordingly. So thank you so much for doing that.
Absolutely.
Like several others who have gray hair here, I'm a child of the 60s, and I remember vividly the riots and protests against racial injustice and the Vietnam War. As you said, we can move forward, and I look to the years ahead that we will say this is behind us.
Yeah.
During the Vietnam War, I served in the United States Army for 2 years. When I wore that uniform, I served as a physical therapist, so I was on the healing side, not on the combat side. But when I wore that uniform in public, I got one of 2 reactions. Either people wanted to commend me for my service to the country, or they wanted to spit in my face because I was a symbol of war. I did not support that war, but I had a draft, and either if I went in as a draft enlistee, I would have been. I may not be here. I would have been the rice paddies of Vietnam. I enlisted so that I could serve as a physical therapist. But my comment is, as you said, and in prior town halls, people ask, what can we do? And you said that was the most common question you had asked. And the response is to do things locally. I did watch live that news conference with the council people and the mayor from Minneapolis. And one of the council members came up and said exactly the kinds of things that you said. Do things locally. Help your neighbor immigrant to take out the trash, to drive their kids to school, to get their groceries so that they don't have to get into public and be afraid of being accosted and empowered by ICE or other border patrol individuals. So we can do things locally here. To that comment, my local church, Waverly Heights United Church of Christ, right down the road, is devoting our Sunday worship service to small group discussions about this very issue. And we are going to do it in a safe, open environment because we know there are members of our church who support our president. The large majority do not. But we need to be respectful of that particular perspective. So the other thing that we can do is to vote. I cannot wait until the midterm elections. I cannot wait. We must work in earnest to get the moderate Republicans to vote Democratic. Forget about the MAGA Republicans. They think that our president is God. No matter what he says or what he does is the right thing to do. We don't believe that. And we need to convince the majority of Americans who voted for him, the majority of Americans to vote out the Republican individuals who support him. So please do things on the local level and do things on the national level next year when you get a chance to vote, and convince the moderate Republicans to do the same. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for your service. So he's exactly right, and I just met with a bunch of our labor leaders. The AFT had their regional meeting this morning, and so I was able to meet with them. And we had a similar discussion. Our union families have been divided over who to support and how to show up. And what we really need to do is find grace and find our areas of alignment. There's much more that we share than that divides us right now. And so we can't keep going down the road of ideology breaking us apart, identifying somebody, well, you're DSA, so you're too far left, I don't want to talk with you about politics, or you're a Republican, and so you must think Donald Trump is okay. People are looking for a home right now. They want to be accepted for the opinions that they have, the political feelings that they have, without being judged. And unfortunately, the Democratic Party has also been harsh on each other. We have to find compassion. We cannot be united if we continue to belittle each other for things that we don't agree on. So please, I grew up in a Republican household, and I still talk to all of my family, and that's somewhat unique right now. We have to find a way back to bridging divides and finding our common humanity. Dehumanization and marginalization is how they are controlling us right now. What was the first thing they did when Renee Nicole Good was shot? She's a terrorist. She's got a whistle, so she must be a left-wing terrorist. Oh, she's a lesbian. Oh, she's divorced. Like, come on, people. Who here is perfect? That is, and all of a sudden, people are okay that a woman was murdered in cold blood by an officer who is supposed to protect our community. We cannot, and we must not, other each other. Find ways to build bridges right now. I absolutely have deep divides with my father, who continues to vote for Donald Trump. I feel that, and that is absolute. But I also know that he's starting to crack too. And I also want to just hold a little space for, I can't believe I'm holding space for Marjorie Taylor Greene, but she is a mega Republican, right? She's America first. She doesn't like what's going on either. She's looking for a home. So we need to give each other grace. Please. Okay. Morgan's like, is she gonna actually answer another question or what's going on here? Okay, so I've got 20 minutes, I'm gonna keep going. So we've got 383-8538, 8538 are the last four, and 383-8642. Anyone? Oh yeah, all right. So we've got another one here. Which one are you? Okay, so 8642 is still out there somewhere. Come on up.
Representative, my name is Stephanie Ridmark. I feel like we're Instagram friends. We haven't met in person. I'm also shy. I don't enjoy doing it in front of people, but I'm here to echo some of what you've already said. Some of what some others have said. Number one, thank you for serving. Thank you for being our voice. This is what we have.
Hold it closer to you.
Thank you for being our voice and for serving. Truly, I feel very powerless many days, and then I turn around and try to put my feet where I am in my limited circle and where we're connected. And I also remind myself that there is no isolation. We are all connected. Every decision and choice, every way we treat each other, everything. I'm a landscape architect. I love the living world. We're a part of it. Everything's alive in our choices every day, and what we do for and against each other impacts the world. I also resonate. I didn't realize that you have the same background that I do, raised in a conservative Republican farming family, hard workers, salt of the earth, love them to death. Also, the ideology is so difficult to try to navigate, but to find nuance instead of the black and white and hold on for that is the best I can do. So thank you for recognizing where that background is and trying to continue to find ways to work together.
Yeah.
I don't have a question as much as I'm failing because I feel like we have this East Portland, I live right down the street. It feels like we have this limited way of impacting our neighbors, but it's deep and it's all that we have. And then I look to the news and I think, oh my God, why aren't you stopping this? Why aren't people stopping this? What are we supposed to do? I can't keep taking care of each other while people are getting shot in the face for doing the same exact thing I would have done on a given weekday. And I text my family and I say, that could have been me. What are we doing?
That's right.
And I think just to personalize it with my network in landscape architecture and construction and farming and nursery work and landscape construction particularly, people that I know are being taken and targeted, and the people that haven't been taken yet are living in absolute fear and terror.
Yeah.
It's awful, and they have to choose between living or starving to try to work in a dangerous place. So thank you also to your office. I've reached out and your folks have been in touch with me to help some of the folks I know to get paperwork in place to make family separation plans worst happens, and it's endless, the overwhelm. But my comment, which is barely a question, but it's just looking to you for some acknowledgement and some recommendations. Again, when I walk out this room, I feel like I have an army of 38 mother friends behind me that are all daily texting each other, encouraging each other, trying to figure out what we do and how we do it. So in my mind, they're standing here with me, and we're asking you, what can we do beyond what we've already heard, and thank you. How do we keep keep empowering you to do the work? And I think the last comment question, and thank you, is that I also was at the earlier town hall in early 25, and I really truly felt like you took all of our energy with you. I feel like you took it, and all year long as I've been your Instagram buddy, I'm like, oh my God, she listened, she's doing it. And that matters. People scoff at the internet, right? They scoff at social media and, oh, couch social justice warriors. No, this is, again, we're connected. Thank you for listening. Thank you for letting us applaud your impeachment work to God help us all. Get rid of her. She's failing. Yeah. Take every applause today. Take it back and do something with it. Thank you. I know Representative Stansberry, others, there's so many people that are strong. Do it. Work for us with them. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to my rambles. I'm so scared to know that I hate this, but thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, can I hug you?
Okay. Thank you.
Very, very important sentiment. Thank you. And I will just share that Melanie Stansberry is one of my co-conspirators. We do a lot together, and she's also she's a force of nature. So really grateful for that. Okay, so 8642. Come on up, please. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. I'm not used to hearing my voice, so that's why I'm.
They want to hear your voice,
I'm
though.
hearing my voice is odd.
Just, you gotta hold it
Okay.
close to your mouth.
Thank you all. It's nice to be in the room with, surrounded by moral solvency. Thank you for everybody for coming.
They can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I came prepared with a receipt to write on. Now that there's fracturing in the Republican Party, or so it seems, could you tell us what it's like during office hours? Are you actually going across and having effective conversations to maybe change minds and shore up what's going to be happening on the floor? Do you see any sort of changes in actual legislation coming forward instead of saying we're working across the aisle with our friends, which we all know is just magical thinking and hokum. Without segue, the next one is what's the forecast for the protracted impeachment and conviction of, say, and good luck with that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you. So I can't remember, I think it was my chief of staff and I were walking. Harry, was it you that was with me when we saw Cliff? No, it wasn't. Anyway, I have so many people who are walking with me all the time. So we ran into Cliff Bentz. No, okay, don't boo, vote. Quoting my first idol, Barack Obama is famous for saying that, and I only say that because it really is important that we do find grace for each other. And I was meeting with a former state representative who is a Republican who worked with Cliff. And he asked me, how are you going to get bipartisan legislation done? We were talking about the business community here in Portland and what's going on and what we need to do. And was explaining my philosophy and how, I'll work with anyone. And I mean that. I will work with anyone because we all have areas of alignment. And then I might still vote against the bill. But if the bill is better because I was engaged, I'm doing my job. And he said, you know who you sound like is Cliff Bentz. And folks, you laugh, but Cliff picks up the phone when I call. I went up to him in the hallway and he stopped and he talked to me. And I have been asking for a shared without press roundtable in the Dalles because so many people of my district in Hood River have to live in the Dalles because they can't afford to live in Hood River, but they work in Hood River. And so we need to have some shared understanding of the impact of HR 1 and the cuts to Medicaid and all that's happening. And Cliff, rightfully, is worried about a gotcha moment or something that I'm going to do. We have to build trust. And building trust means you make yourself vulnerable. If you don't make yourself vulnerable, the other person isn't going to trust you. And it's two ways, right? One person can't do it, otherwise that's called something else and it's not very good. So Cliff listened. He did. I don't know if he's going to do it, but he listened. And that is where we have to find grace. I'm a doctor. I've got another one in the room here who some of you might know. We've got a lot of doctors probably. I don't know, did you ever take care of a Republican or a Democrat? I only took care of people. So we've got to treat each other that way. And it's not laughable that there's bipartisan legislation. There is bipartisan legislation. The anti-stock trading bill is a very bipartisan piece of legislation that we're going to get passed. We had 17 Republicans who voted with us to extend the ACA and enhanced tax credits for 3 years. We couldn't even get them to agree to 1 year, but they voted for it because the people showed them what the impact is going to be of those lapsing. We have to work together, people. This is the way you overcome an authoritarian government, is building a center coalition. And I don't want to scare people more than we already are, but while he's terrorizing the people of our community here, he is threatening Greenland. He invaded Venezuela and captured their leader. Not a legitimate one, all the things, but it's still illegal. Might does not make right. I sat in a secret, whatever, you're not supposed to share it, top secret, sorry, briefing with Pam Bondi, Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, General Klein. They all sat there, and what I didn't hear was accountability for what they were doing, the rationale. They were talking about things that are so deeply offensive to those who have served our country. And while they are terrorizing us here, they're getting ready to invade and take over, because I heard very clearly that gunboat diplomacy is what we now believe in, that might makes right. We've been through this. We cannot do that again. So, how are we going to get through this if we don't find grace and give each other a chance? We don't want to go to war. We don't want our people killed. We don't want our neighbors terrorized. We have to find the ability to cross divides. And again, I would love to have a majority. I can't talk about this. This is not a political place. But you all have that power. You can make those decisions. But until that decision is made, we have to work together. Okay. What's that? Last two? Okay. I've been told these are our last two. So hopefully you were here 8601, 3838601, and 3838596. Great. Thank you.
My name is Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
For your silence. You said something earlier about your fear of being responsible for tanks rolling in Portland. And I guess I would like to just leave you and everybody else. It's our job to back her up, A, and B, you are not responsible for their fascism. If we have a United States representative that cannot speak and act on behalf of her constituents, we don't have a country. And we need America to live up to its founding words. We've rarely lived up to the ideals, sadly, but we've improved.
Right.
Except for basically since 2016. Or take your pick. There's a few other points we could go back in time to talk about, but I would just like to leave you with that thought, that you are not responsible for their fascism. And if there are tanks rolling into Portland, it's our job to be like the guy in the picture in Tiananmen Square. There's a whole lot of us, we can stand in front of a whole lot of fucking planes.
Thank you. Thank you. I told you, Janelle Bynum told me to go to them and have them fill your cup, and you are absolutely delivering, so thank you for that. And you're right. I take very seriously the responsibility I have to be responsive, so you all are making it very clear. 8596, is that you? Hi. That's not you, but that's your number.
Yes. Hi, my name is Meredith Belines, and I am a neighbor. The individuals killed were right across from the doctor's office that I visit regularly for my preventative care. And I just want to acknowledge and express gratitude that this is very personal for all of us. And thank you for reflecting that it's personal for you too, and acknowledging that these are our neighbors, who they are coming after. And again, express gratitude that you have brought forward articles of impeachment I hope that you will continue, as others across the country, to do that weekly, daily if needed. We support you. And my question is, right, that is one legal means of protecting your constituents and fighting in legal ways to prevent further violence, to impeach other parts of the administration. How is the Oregon congressional delegation that you're a part of joining forces to leverage their collective power, not just in the House, but also in the Senate, to make sure that these legal means are being leveraged at every opportunity possible, especially for those who are the most vulnerable currently? As a parent and an educator of a child, of children and who are served by the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, we know that the dismantling of the Department of Education will harm many children and is already causing harm. And so in those instances where congressional power is being stripped to remove the Office of Special Education Programs into a new agency who has no educational experience, what other, right, those are the things. What are the other legal means that the congressional delegation is working towards collectively to exert their power?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Really, really important points and question.
So the first thing I want to make sure everyone knows is that the two individuals who were shot just down the street are alive and they are recovering. And we all pray for their speedy return home. Unfortunately, I do believe that federal officers are planning to take them into custody, but we need to continue to show up. And I just will call out that my team has been extraordinary in being willing to go to the Northwest Detention Center. We were counting it up. I think we've gotten 9 individuals out of custody by showing up and elevating. There is some level of transparency that they are responsive to, and it seems like literally 2 weeks ago I was there with Emily Randall, and I had asked, we had a privacy release for one of my constituents who was detained there, and I said I want to speak to this individual at the end of our tour. They did give us a tour. They're denying access to some members of Congress, but they gave us a tour, and then at the end, when they called down for the individual to come see me, they said, oh, he's being released. And our team called his wife, and she was like, I just talked to him an hour ago. He didn't say anything about being released. And then we verified, and I think it's because we showed up and they knew that we were going to talk to the press. It's possible. It's possible it was just true, and unrelated, absolutely. And he had an attorney and they were working hard. So I don't want to take their win if that's, but I don't think that it is true, and unrelated that 9 different people have been released when we show up. So I'm very proud of my team for helping me do that. I say that because people who are being detained illegally, like, they don't have grounds for it. So when you call them out on it, you're willing to expose it. They do tend to release folks. On the, and I know Meredith, you said something else I really wanted to respond to. Oh, the IDA so unfortunately, and the Supreme Court has really underlined executive branch authority. And all of the agencies fall under the executive branch. And even when they have been started, supported, paid for by acts of Congress, the Supreme Court is upholding the executive branch's ability to fire and release people and to restructure and those things. So we are really trying to work hard. Now, it's also true that they fired most of the inspectors general who hold them accountable. So again, this is part of the authoritarian playbook. This is what you do. And the courts are showing themselves to be complicit, which is also part of that. And we have seen the Supreme Court have people appointed in unusual ways. Gorsuch and Coney Barrett were both not really supposed to be appointed when they were. Gorsuch should have been an Obama appointee, and Coney Barrett, if we followed the rules that they had established for Gorsuch, shouldn't have been appointed because they were already campaigning at the time of her appointment. So that set the court up in ways that we've seen across the world to be complicit with to become politicized. And we hope this week will announce a tariff ruling that goes against the president, but quite frankly, it may be helping him because it forces him to do something he may already be thinking he needs to do to get back into grace with the American people. So our courts are becoming, unfortunately at the highest one, a bit of an issue. It's not fully independent and legitimate in my view. We do, however, have very strong courts and judges, and Judge Immergut needs a shout out for her strength and her clarity. I know the question was about agencies, but all of this is related because the Supreme Court said he can do whatever he wants with his executive branch while it's executive power. So we are absolutely finding ground. The appropriations process right now, if I can leave you with something to be hopeful about, it's that the House appropriations packages that were sent for negotiation had tons of cuts. I think 47% of the EPA's budget had been cut in the House bill. It actually ended up being cut by 3%. Still not good, but really the Senate negotiated back almost everything with the the CSJ, and I'm going to blank on all of it, but part of the justice package, including the FBI and some other things. There were the gun violence prevention programs and really important community investments that were included, that had been cut out by the House bill. And then the last thing, the bit of hope, this team, Morgan, can you hold up your hand? This team, led by Morgan, my district director here, got all 7 of our community projects funded that we asked, 2 in Portland, 3 in Gresham, 1 in Sandy, that's only 6. Oh, and Multnomah County. So we got all of those. We put in 7 projects in this package, and all 7 got passed. And Morgan did all the hard work to make sure that the projects that were submitted actually met the criteria. So work is happening, to the gentleman's point earlier that nothing bipartisan. Actually, this was all, the appropriations negotiations are happening in a much more productive way. And I also think it's because we exerted ourselves and shut the government down and wanted to make sure that they knew we would do it again if we had to. So there is some hope. Do not lose faith. When you feel weary, take a moment with your people and be quiet and reflective, and then get back out there. Make sure that you are standing up for each other, give each other grace, and use your phones, not just to take pictures, but to call my office and tell us what you need. Thank you all. Go well. Thank you. All right, you're all excused. I think they have something else coming. So thank you all for coming on 24 hours notice. We love